This is Legends Territory with the MLB PAA, Scott Braun and A.J. Pierzynski. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can also find the podcast version if you type in Legends Territory. Time to bring in our guest. 17 seasons in the bigs, mostly with the Marlins, an all-star and a two-time World Series champ. It's actually part of that last World Series title team with the Marlins in 2003, and the last chip for the Yankees all the way back in 2009. It's been a minute. They miss him. AJ Burnett joins us right now on Legends Territory. AJ, how you doing, man? Does it feel like long ago that the Yanks won a World Series title and you were part of that?
Feels like they ain't won since I left.
I tell you, well, first of all, before we dig too deep in this, you're going to have to come up with like better names, because if you're going to say AJ, we're both going to answer. So we're going to let him be AJ. And you can just call me asshole or whatever you want to call me.
I was also going to say, which, fine, that's a perfect nickname for now, because pretty sure in this show, we ask questions to him. So a little social cue is that if I ask a question and I turn here, it's that AJ. Okay. But that's fine. You're giving me permission to say asshole to start the interview. I'm totally good with that.
It's fine with me. Hey, Burnett's called me worse, okay?
And vice versa, I'm sure.
Exactly. We'll get into that eventually. Don't worry.
Absolutely. Yeah, good. I was hoping you bring it up.
So how's life? So first off, tell me what you're up to, and do you miss the game at all?
I do miss competing. Yeah, I miss the locker room. I miss the guys. Games changed a little bit for me, but I still watch it here and there. Catch up on it in the mornings mostly. But just living, man, not doing much, just building a bunch of big off-road machines and living at home, watching my kids, turn into awesome young men. And my wife ain't kicked me out yet, so all's good.
Oh, go on. You said the game's changed a little bit for me. So does that mean you don't love the way that it's being played, especially right now this year? Because for me, the game has evolved this season to be at a quicker pace, and obviously some rules have changed. You have the weird shifts and all of that going on. Is that what you're talking about, or is there something else?
Yeah, a little bit of all that. I just watched something you guys posted with the White Sox thrower that talked about the young guys in entitlement. So I don't know how I would do in today's game, because that is all I hear. And that's different from when I came up. Like, I wasn't entitled to jack shit when I came up, like absolutely nothing. So the rules, not so much. Not a big fan of throw over, but pace of the game's nice. I mean, we used to have dinner at midnight, and now these guys get to eat at 10. So good for them. But I think it's more so just how it's played with the young kids brought up, and it's just so much hype and hoopla. It's like almost overkill in my opinion. But that's just me. I'm just so old school.
Yeah, you're so old school. What would you do to change the White Sox then? If you heard about the White Sox, I mean, as a White Sox fan.
I was just listening to him. I think he makes a good point. Like, I was always a fan of the veteran leadership. Like he was so right about there's guys you gotta, put your arm around and take a side, and there's other guys you gotta light up. And I got lit up. I was one of those guys that got lit up, and it made me tougher, made me be able to, stay in the league for so long, and I was able to do that to some kids myself. So just that part of it, really, I mean, just go in there and yell at people. Sometimes, and most of the time, it works.
Do you feel like, say, just to touch on the White Sox spot for one more second, because it's got a good conversation to it as far as veteran leadership versus players just being adults? That's the one thing that I try and ask too when we bring some guests on that say played on that team or currently playing on that team. I'm like, if there's some dudes that are showing up late or not doing what they're supposed to be doing, I'm like, you're an adult, you're a professional. Shouldn't you, it's not like these are 12-year-olds. Shouldn't you look around and be like, this is what everyone else is doing? And also, I want to play in this league, and I've got talent, and I want them to keep me or sign me or have a good reputation for the next spot I go to.
Right. Like be a pro.
Yeah, no babysitters.
That's how I was taught. Be a pro. I was always a lead by example. I learned that from Doc. And of course, ain't nobody like him or was like him. But we had that guy in the locker room that everybody looked up to, and everybody just like wanted to do exactly what he did. And I became that guy in Pittsburgh, and I never knew I could. So I don't know everything that's going on over there, like I said, I'm in and out, but I pay attention to, some things. It's just huge to have everybody on the same page as far as being a pro and representing yourself as a Major League Baseball player and not, showing up at 5 or not even taking BP or whatever the case may be. I don't know what's going on, but absolutely no babysitting. Like, let's all get here together. I mean, just act like you've done it before, man, and set an example for those that are coming up. But I don't know. It's different.
You just don't get it. You just don't get it. No, you just don't get it. You can't do that anymore. I agree. Just be a professional. But the thing is now, I lived it at the end and you were right there. But if you say things now to some of these rookie kids, they run and their agent will call the GM and say, hey, he's being mean to me because he told me to be on time. And you're right. I'm just having a conversation about like trying to be a professional and do things the right way and be respectful to other people. And it is what it is now.
It's a popularity contest. That's all it is, in my opinion. Like it's how popular and famous I can be on this little device right here. It ain't got nothing to do with, and this ain't everybody. Obviously, it doesn't, pertain to everybody. But it just seems like that's the case. Like I'm not a big leaguer. I'm famous. You know what I mean? Like carry yourself right. Like you just said, just do it right without, complaining that somebody yelled at me. I mean, my phone would have blown up, Age. I mean, I yelled at so many damn kids. I mean, it was terrible. But I talked to them today, and they thanked me for what AJ did. AJ, still to this day. So there's definitely some good outcome to that.
Hey, also when you played, yeah.
I was gonna say, especially when you're dealing with a situation like that over there. I mean, it's obviously what they're missing. I don't even know. I can just tell by a few interviews.
Well, also when you played, AJ, and it's this AJ, not asshole. When you played, and it wasn't long ago, you were like one of, if not the hardest throwing starter in the league for a period of time. Now on the radar gun, you're averaging like 95-ish. Do you look up now and say, what the fuck, in terms of how crazy the game has gotten with how hard everyone throws, or what the fuck is in maybe the radar gun is a little hotter than it used to be? What do you think of the way that velocity has become pretty normal, like
the only
unless
thing that matters.
Throwing 103. And yes, the only thing that matters is a big part of it too, because when you were pitching, it was like an outlier, and now it's like a requirement.
Well, it's all that mattered to me. You're only about 4 mile an hour off when I was in Florida. I was like 99 to 100, but I'll let that slide. But that's all it is now, man. It's just, I mean, I went to a few games this year. I'll go see the Yanks when they come to Baltimore. I'll go see the Pirates, see some friends that I play with, obviously. And it's just 97, 97, 97, 98. I mean, everybody that comes in is just pumping fuel. So, I mean, I've heard things about the guns off, but they're so young nowadays. They come up, they're young, they're strong, they're just letting it eat. And, I came up and very few players threw that hard, like very few. You had a few closers. I mean, I remember Matt Manti came in, Iceman, and I was like, dude, this guy throws like that. I'm like, I got no chance. But he was one of few during that time that did that, and everybody that comes in throws gas. But I like to watch it, man. I was that kid that, if you foul one off, I was going to throw it harder. It was no pitching back when I was younger. It was just, oh man, Andrew Jones just fouled off. I'm about to throw it even harder. And, probably 400 feet, later. But still, you learn as you get older. But I enjoy watching that. Bring it and let it eat if you have it. Can't stand guys that throw hard that just slider. Let it eat.
So you like the new way of pitching, or you don't like the way, because everyone throws hard, but everybody also goes slider. Right,
that's what I'm saying. So I'm caught in the middle. Right, I'm caught in the middle. Like I always threw it until you hit it, and then I went soft. But now I guess guys are just so geared up to hit it that I don't know. I'm not a fan of that way. Age, not at all. I mean, you got it, you attack, and you put them away. You don't, try to get them to swing and miss about 4 feet every time, and next thing you know, you're 3-0, or you got a guy first because you're doing 3-2 slider and you throw 100. I mean, come on. You hit for how long and throw a dotted outside at 100? Ain't very easy to hit. I don't care who you are.
No, it ain't.
It's just crazy to see all that. It's just junk, and then this guy throw. I mean, I've seen the starters too. I can't think of his name. some dude, maybe Smith with the Yankees. Big fan of him. I sat next to his dad the whole time. Got a W. Great dude. We talked the whole game. But he's like 96, 97. And I saw like 6 of them. All game. It was like cutter. And he dealt. Like, don't get me wrong. The kid had a great plan and went about his business as pro as anybody. But every time he threw that cheese, it was just like, the thing was like, damn, he's got that? Like, I didn't even know he had that. It's like everything's backwards. But
Did you say
worked.
something? Did you say something?
No, not to him. I was like, every once in a while, I'd nudge him, be like, heater? And he'd be like, no, sweeper. I was like, damn, I hear one heater. And he was right every time. He was like, yeah.
Wait, what would you call your breaking ball then? Because it's not really, it wasn't really a sweeper. I mean, I guess would you still call it a curveball? They got all these.
I would have called it a curve. Maybe a curve and a sweeper. Later in my career, I did drop down a little bit to get it to go more right to left instead of straight down like it used to be. So I mean, yeah, probably both. I can't stand the word sweeper, but they used to call it a slider, and I didn't throw a slider, so really hard curveball maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you threw your curveball like 85. It wasn't like it was
85, 86, yeah.
It wasn't like the old, like you were talking about Doc. It wasn't like his curveball, like 80, 79, 80. Your curveball was hard.
I was always get ahead and throw as hard as I could on top of the plate, hard as I could, and that's what I did until I got old. I started flipping it everywhere.
We all got old. It's okay.
Who's your guy then? Do you have a guy right now that you do like to watch, especially as a starter? Like for me, I would think of maybe Spencer Strider. He'll still play off that fastball as much as anybody, rightfully so, as he should.
Punching tickets. I don't know everyone out there. I ain't gonna lie to you one bit. I do know him. I still watch Cole all the time. He's got that easy cheese, and he still likes to use it. But the dude you just mentioned from Atlanta, he don't care. He just punches tickets. Just here it comes. And I feel like guys like that have it. I mean he dominates games because he gets ahead with his number one. Dominates.
You talk to Cole often? You still talk?
Oh, we text more than phone calls, but we keep in touch quite a bit. Yeah.
Hey, you're one of the kids now. You're one of the kids now. Everyone texts. If you snap
I answer my phone.
If you tell them you snap them, then you're really one
I
of the
definitely
kids,
will snap them. Yeah, I definitely will snap them. I ain't afraid to snap.
So
but we keep in touch here and there.
Yeah, you played with him in Pittsburgh, right? When he first came up?
Right.
So did you have any advice for him when he went to New York? Were you like, hey man, I lived it, I did it?
I did. He texted me here and there as more of a congratulations man on it. Where he was when he signed for New York was so far away from when he came to Pittsburgh. Like, you always saw that kid in there. Like, you knew he was going to be great. You knew Cole was going to be great. It's a matter of, will he listen, or will he? Because Cole had it figured out too when he came up. But see, that didn't stop me. Like, he was a guy that needed to be yelled at, maybe because he never got yelled at. I don't know. But I was on him all the time. He had me throwing hooks with him and Cincy in the cage. I mean, for hours, he wore me out as much as I wore him out. But it was more of a congratulations type thing. Like, it wasn't like, watch out or dude, it's going to be great. It was just, I was happy for him. I knew at some point I didn't realize he was going to be one of the best in the game, like that far best in the game. I knew he was going to be great. I was just super happy for him, man. He came a long way.
Yeah, I mean, and he's super rich and super successful, and a great interview too. Like he'll tell it to you straight,
Oh yeah, he will.
No cookie cutter, which we appreciate. Did you notice anything aside from him and getting him to not be a young buck and listen to people? But did you notice anything within the Pirates organization? Because there are players, and that's like a famous thing. And Cole was one of the poster boys for it. Is, hey, Pittsburgh's telling me to do something one way, and then I go somewhere else, and I get unlocked, and look at me go. And some of the other names, including, did you play with Charlie Morton too?
I did.
Yep.
I did. Nasty. But same type of thing, trying to figure it out the whole time they're there, and as soon as they go somewhere else, they just shoot up. I mean, from what I hear, it's ridiculous. They just teach them completely different ways to pitch than they've ever pitched, if that makes sense. Like, these guys get to the big leagues or they get drafted pitching a certain way, and then you're gonna just go change everything about them. They didn't have Cole throwing up in the zone, so when he came up to big league, and that's what he did before, and then they got him and they threw him all two seamers. Two seamers get the ball on the ground, a kid throwing 100, and then finally he started elevating again, and it was back to where he was. So I don't understand that process. I mean, I've been there and I have listened when I shouldn't have, so I get it. But at the same time, well, why teach all these kids? So, I mean, it's just a number of things. It's just ridiculous. Like it's like they're prepping them for something that they don't need to prep them for. It's overthinking everything.
And that's weird. You would think that the communication flow goes from the minors to the majors, like it's one fluid plan.
It does not.
From what I hear, it does not. Yeah,
I
don't know.
Now, some organizations it is. Some organizations, no. I mean, we just talked about the White Sox. Right?
Yeah, but I'm saying
we've heard about Pittsburgh. Who was it? Said it was like a damn Navy SEAL training.
Tyler Glasnow is another great example. Said,
yeah, right. That's what it was like.
Phrase, but yeah.
Yes. Like when I got traded over there, thank God I was 38 and I'd already been in the big leagues. I was like, I ain't doing what these kids are doing. Are you shitting me? Like, what, they gonna make a big league team because they can run certain, and do, underwater breathing and walk on coals and all this shit is gonna make them better. I mean, let's go, man. But it's just one of those things where I feel like some organizations, I don't know where it comes from, but we still have a leash on these kids. We can do what we want to do with them. So let's just put them through hell because we can. I mean, honestly, that's the way I feel. That's how Pittsburgh was when I got there. It was early work, once a week. I mean, it was just minor league as it could be. And I'm like, no wonder you guys are dead tired by, August. No wonder, I mean, things had to be changed. And they were. And we got better and they won.
Did you say anything? Like, hey, I've been around the league for a while. This is weird. I'm not going to Operation whatever.
Yeah, I did. I said a lot, man. I mean, I had some great talks with Clint, and Clint was great. He let me be me and let me kind of, run the guys because obviously I was the oldest and the veteran of the group. So the early work and shit stopped. Preparation got better, but all the hoop and hula that they try to just do to these kids because they can, because it's their first, second year in the big leagues. Uncle with that. These guys are big leaguers. Treat them like big leaguers. You know what I mean? Let them fail and succeed as big leaguers, and they'll be fine. But when you treat them like kids and run them to death and do all this crazy shit, it's just going to make them hate baseball and want to leave or want to get traded.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
Don't you believe this? That most teams, yeah, it's great if you have a manager, that's great, but it has to be led by the players. Like there has to be a player leader, right? It can't always come from the manager and coaches. There has to be somebody in the room that steps up and says, hey, don't do this, or we're doing it this way.
Yeah.
And I think players 100%. Follow that better, right?
100%. That's one of the reasons, everybody asks me when I'm going to get back in the game. That's why I haven't yet, because no disrespect to any coach I had great ones. I had Arnsberg, I had Ray, great managers too. But like you said, it's different when somebody is there in the now with you, in the heat of the things with you, failing like you failed, like I mentioned, or succeeding like you just did last game, or doing things a little better than you did. Or it's different, like I had great coaches help me. I had some that were just there to make me laugh and relax, and I think a great big league coach is just somebody who needs to be able to relate to the pitcher, not exactly coach the pitcher, just find a way to relate to them, but it has to come from a player. I'm a big believer in that. It's not that there's no disrespect or that they're not going to listen or we're not going to listen to the manager, because we are, and coaches that we are, but like I said, you have somebody there in the battle with you in the heat of it that's done it or is doing it. It matters for sure, especially if somebody has done it for 15, 17 plus years.
Okay. Well, then when you were at the Marlins and you threw the ball through the truck window, was there a pitcher that was like, what the fuck are you doing? Or did you just do that on your own and be like, screw y'all, do whatever I want? Yeah,
well, I did it on my own for the first 3 times. I bounced it on the left-hander's batter's box and hit the back fender. Because it just seemed like the damn truck was only out there when I pitched. Like nobody else. Like I'm here to. This kid's got no problem throwing strikes. Let's get some other shit going in the background. And and finally, like after the 3rd or 4th time, I had a position player and a pitcher, which I swore to this day I would never throw one in the bus. But I got a feeling one of these days is going to come out because the story's changing as I get older. Truth's coming out. But they just looked at me. I hit it third time. I came in the dugout, and they're like, look, kid, if you're going to do this shit, can you fucking do it and just retire seeing it? And I was like, oh, okay. So I did it. And I wish I had, but it's been a laugh for a lot of people out of my career. So whatever. Chuck never showed back up.
Why would you wish you didn't do it? It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, what it cost you? $100 bucks?
I mean, you didn't hurt anybody.
I mean, it cost you $100. Like, who cares? You're like, dude, here's $100. Like, and now the video. I mean, the video's never going to go away. So that'd be something. I'd be like, hell yeah, I did that. Let's go.
It's not like someone.
Well, the points you made are points. They're good points. They're good points. I didn't even get a bill, AJ. So that's the funny thing about it. But I don't necessarily wish I didn't do it. But like you mentioned, nobody got hurt, so it's all in fun. But like. Well, if it drives off in that dugout, dude, and runs over all the Mets, what if the driver?
You would get another win. You get another win. Forfeit. You win the game. I mean,
hey, it's great. Like I said, everybody loves it. So it's definitely grown to where I've enjoyed it more than oh God, it's Chuck Bill again. Good grief. Can they remember me for anything else?
No.
I've got another
one.
I'm
fine with that now. I get it. It's awesome.
That's right.
I've got one. So in Pittsburgh, you go up against Hanley Ramirez at one point. You strike him out. You know where I'm going. Sit the fuck down. And then I was looking into this morning. It looks like back then, MLB, whether it was on .com or whatever else, kind of like made sure they skipped that part, maybe trying to make it PG for the kids or something like that.
They knew it.
There you go.
There it is.
Right there. I gotta get it. These are tickets. So I got all my tickets right here. They took like 3 or 4 times to set in. So these got a few more, but it'll be complete one of these days. It's the only baseball tat I got, man. That's sad. But hey, it's 215 punchies from North Little Rock, Arkansas kid, and what you just said with that statement there made the city of Pittsburgh just fall in love for some reason. It's wild.
Wait, I thought you had a tattoo of yourself on your leg at one point. Didn't you have a picture of a tattoo of you pitching at one point?
How in the hell do you know that, man?
I know a lot of shit, dude. I know a lot of shit. We know a lot of shit.
That ain't supposed to be. I ain't supposed. Yeah,
I did. The way you lied, so there's the only.
Really?
No, it's not there anymore. It's not there anymore. It's covered up. It's covered up. It was the very first one I got at 18, bro. And it was me. It was like this big on my ankle in a little Mets minor league uniform in my delivery. And it was the worst. But it was cool for like a week. All right, I went back to my old high school and I was like, yo, check out this tat. It's so sick. And then like a year later, it's just covered up. So I did have one of myself, yeah.
That's great.
That is
unbelievable.
That's great. What's better, that or the guys who get the MLB tattoo?
MLB, oh wow, yeah.
On the back of their neck. Like I think Javi
AA.
Baez has it. There's a couple dudes that have it.
They get it in the minor leagues?
A guy played in the minors and never made it past A-ball.
Never made it.
Tattoo.
Yeah.
On his neck right here.
I've come across at least a half a dozen guys that never made it that had that tattoo.
Why would they not wait until they make it?
I don't have any tattoos. I don't know.
What's the game plan?
That's probably one I would have waited on, probably.
Yeah. Makes sense. It's not that hard to wait on it.
Didn't you just get a new big tattoo of Alcatraz or something on your leg?
Yeah, I got on my quad. I got Alcatraz. Yeah. I'm running out of money here soon.
What's the significance? Yeah, your wife is pissed.
Just always been a fan, man. Just always been infatuated with that island, and the base it was before it was a prison. Guys they sent there, it's just creepy and cool. So I was all about it from high school on. I got books on it, posters. Last guard book, 4 visits under the belt. So it was just intrigued me from a long time ago, and I've been always wanting to get it. So we went and finally pulled the trigger.
What's your favorite one that you've got?
I mean, that one's probably as far as work. I mean, it's pretty legit. I have a few things for my kids, like Follow Me is right under here. And the big 6'5" tough guy had to sing Follow Me by Uncle Cracker every single night to put these kids to bed, like every night. So I got that one, and that's probably my favorite of all of them because every time I look down, it just reminds me of my 22 and 19-year-old remember me back when I was cool, and funny. So I like that one a lot.
All right. What about favorite memory with Pittsburgh? And I'll point out one other example here and like moment, not necessarily like a win or a game.
You're not going to start like in the Marlins and then.
Well, I'm trying to set them up to something specifically, and then we can go backwards. The Batman symbol the bat signal in Pittsburgh. Can you tell us what that was all about, and were you pumped to see it?
I was. I'm a huge Batman fan. Always have been, and I used to wear the black Under Armour, Batman under my suit shirt when we traveled. And I guess I had a makers or two, and I was like, bam. And somebody put it on Twitter, and then there were flags all over the stadium, and they just ran with it. And then I came off the DL and 15 came back to the stadium. And I think Kutch had something to do with it. Still not 100%, but I feel like he did. And we come in at 1:30 on a bus trip, and these buildings are lit up with these symbols. And I was like, what is going on? Because I was pitching the next day coming off the DL. And it was dope. Like, I mean, I went there for opening day, and there's flags everywhere. And I guess they just figured that, we didn't go as far as we probably should have that year either, but we went further than they've been in a long time. And they take pride in what I did when I went there. It means a lot.
Okay. With Pittsburgh, do you feel like at that time they did everything they could to put you guys in a position to win a World Series championship? This is kind of a long time gripe with Pittsburgh fans, is that, they really haven't been good since that run that you were a part of. And a lot of fans look back and say, that was it? Like, you should have spent more. You should have traded for more. You should have put us in the top position, because they're so rarely in that spot. And generally, this team doesn't spend shit, and they go through these incredibly long rebuilds.
I'd say 13. They did a pretty good job when we went to the wild card. Bird was huge pickup. Justin played and helped us out. We didn't get an arm, I don't think. Didn't really need one. Cheese in the bullpen with Melanson, but I felt like, well, first of all, I should have been there all 3 years. They should have definitely tried to keep us together way, way longer than just that 1 year, especially like what you said. We did something special, and we had a hell of a rotation. We had a hell of a bullpen. I mean, we had a pretty good lineup in defense too. I mean, I think they're just upset, not only that not enough at the trade deadline necessarily, but where did that team go right after we went to the playoffs for the first time in 20 years? Are you serious? Like, bring these guys back, let them make a run at it again, then add another piece. But it never happened. But fun, had another chance at 15, got to the wild card, didn't make it. But I mean, the city was buzzing and wild, and they haven't been even close since. I mean, they started off hot this year, but they haven't even been close. And it just seems like no one in that front office cares either. It's just sad. Like, it's one of those sad situations, in my opinion, where you just wish somebody gave a shit. All
right, before we get into the atmosphere in Pittsburgh on those wild card games, especially the Cueto game, who's your favorite Batman?
Oh, Bale. Probably Christian Bale. I mean, I like the new dude. Patterson is a little different. Michael Keaton's the GOAT, best ever, but as far as like all around, like voice.
You're kissing some serious Pittsburgh ass with Michael Keaton now. I mean, come on.
Hey, I gave him a baseball, man, at a game. Dude. It made my day. I even put like to Batman from Batman, thanks for paving the road ahead. And he posted on Instagram. I'm like, honey, look. He posted on Instagram. I was like, I was so excited about it. But he's the GOAT. But as far as everything like voice and Playboy Bruce Wayne and all that, I got to give it to Bell.
It makes sense.
We'll see what the new guy does in the next couple, but yeah.
I mean, Keaton is like the biggest Pirates fan in the world.
Yeah,
he came to a game. We were in Atlanta playing him in like 15 or 16, and he was there, and they were awful.
That might have been the same game.
Was it that game?
It was 15. That was the same game I gave him the ball.
You were gone, and they weren't very good. I don't think in 16. 15, y'all were pretty good. I thought it was.
Yeah, we were. It might have been both.
He was sitting right behind y'all's dugout. And I remember, because I saw him at dinner the night before, and I was like, why are you here? And he's like, I'm filming a movie. And he's like, plus I'm going to the game tomorrow. I'm a huge Pirates fan. And I was like, really? Like, okay.
Yeah, huge. Can't believe they waxed him in the new one, man, in the Flash. He gone. And I was like so mad. But
I haven't seen it. Thanks for ruining it for me.
Oh, I knew somebody was going to say, well, yeah, he gone, buddy. He gone. The go gone.
That's okay.
Ain't worth watching. Ain't worth watching anyway, bro.
All right.
Hey,
right. Now, I want to get to the atmosphere.
Wait, no, before that, real quick. Sorry, a-hole. Before that,
Okay.
just back, especially because you're mentioning Keaton, and he's kind of now a long-suffering Pirates fan during this time period. Have you had any good conversations, whether it's with front office? I don't know if you had any relationship with ownership to be able to have a combo about what the direction of the franchise is, because it's pretty obvious there are especially 5 to 7 teams in the bigs that just profit their asses off because there's revenue sharing, national TV money. You add everything up and you're like, dude, you're making a ton of money. Why can't you spend a little bit more on your franchise? And I feel like there's some owners in the league that are just I guess they don't read the newspaper, or articles, look at social media, whatever else, and realize that you're not doing a good job. And when you speak, it's usually poisonous.
I don't think they get it, honestly. Some of them, I think obviously the teams like the guys behind me and the Red Sox and White Sox and Chicago, teams that, have owners that are baseball fans, seems like it. They go out and do what they're supposed to do. And I feel like some of these owners just aren't baseball fans. They're not baseball people. They just don't understand anything about it, period. I don't know who they have chirping in their ears at times. I loved Bob. I was just quiet. He didn't really get me in the beginning. I had a good story with him when I just big leagued the owner. I had no idea who he was. And of course, he had no idea either what he was doing at the time. He had a funny story. He had a parking spot, right? Starting pitcher shows up a little bit later, about then they're in a single spot under there because we shared it with the hot dog vendors and everybody else in the stadium for some reason. And these first 4 spots are always open. I'm like, I'm going to park in this sunbitch. Ain't nobody ever parked there. So I parked there and I'm getting ready for my start at 5:30 and somebody comes in and is like, hey, AJ, we need your keys. And I was like, I'm getting dressed right now. My keys are in my locker if you want to reach in there and get my keys. And he just kind of backed up. And he's like, you're parking in the owner's spot. I was like, oh, you mean the one that's been empty all season? And I said, is he here now? He said, no, but he might show up. I'm like, look, bro, I'm going to go get ready to throw. My keys are right here. If he shows up, he can move my car. He didn't show up that day or whatever. But I come back 5 days later, pitch, and it's roped off with a caution, yellow caution tape. So old AJ comes out and he cuts the caution tape, backs his car in there, and then ties the tape back, parked there for my start. Well, he came to this game, the game I did that, and I was right in his spot, and I'm coming in at 7:02. I got smoke out of the ears. I'm just locked in, ready to go. And there's this dude at the end of the dugout just standing there, and he's just just waiting at the end of the dugout. And I'm like, okay, I met him. I didn't see him. I may have seen him in the spring, but I just didn't remember. Anyway, he holds his hand out and big old grin as I'm walking in the dugout to go down and get my dip and towel off and get ready to go out and try to shove. I just walk right hell by him. I'm just fuck this guy, dude. I gotta go pitch. And then I go throw and I come out of the game and everybody's just they love it. I'm like, what the fuck? What's so funny? And they're just talking about how you big league the owner. And I was like, what? And it's like, you big league the owner. I was like, get out. Oh, you know what? That was not after I pitched. So I went down the dugout and then 8 guys came in the little room afterwards like, hey, you know what you just did? You know what that was? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I don't know what the hell I was. Who's that? Because that's the owner. So I felt really great about that. And then and then as I'm walking up the steps to go out the pitch, he's back there again. We'll talk about this parking lot situation later, And I'm like, this guy serious right now? I'm about to go shove. I don't give a shit about no parking lot right now. Let's go out and get the baseball going. But we talk about it. We laugh about it. Even when he calls me today or I call him, we bring it up and laugh. But I don't think some of them get it. They didn't play it. They don't know it. They haven't been there. So it just doesn't click with them. And they're not fans. And the fans of the game spin and give their fans winning teams, I think. Or that's how it should be anyway. That's how it should be.
That's epic.
Two things. Does he not? Obviously, he doesn't go to any games. And second of all, it ain't no wonder they didn't bring you back if you're big leaguing the owner. I mean, damn, the owner's like, screw this dude, get him out of here. You don't even know who I am.
He parked in my spot. Hey, just big leaguing me, man. Who's this dickhead? But no, I mean, it was funny, man. But that's how I was, man. I didn't, you ready to go play, man. I didn't see anybody in that dugout when I walked down there. I had 25 guys, on each side of me. I didn't see any of them. I'm just going down there ready to throw. But it was funny, man. It was hysterical.
I get it.
But he had no idea. Like, he had no idea. Like, you want to talk about parking situation right now? It's 7:03, bro. Like, right now? No.
Have a feel. Are you kidding me? Like, do you want to win the game?
That's what I mean. I just don't think a lot of them have a feel. They just don't know. They just don't know. And he was totally harmless about it. Completely harmless about it. But
hey, you can tell. You can tell it's not a diehard baseball fan if you listen to a combo with him versus like, you know, the Phillies owner, the Mets owner, right? Guys like that. So I don't know. I mean, and this AJ can tell me too. How many games do you think on average an owner goes to see their own team play?
Depends on what team.
Yeah.
Don't some guys go to like majority of the games?
Reinsdorf said a lot.
Yeah.
I know that White Sox guy. When I was at the Rangers, they were there all the time.
Yep.
Like Nolan was kind of their front man. He was there like at every game.
Obviously, the A's owner has probably never been.
Steinbrenner's at every game. Yeah. Steinbrenner's, they were there.
John Henry, the Red Sox, they were at a lot of games.
Oh, yeah. He's a huge fan. Huge fan.
You own a team. You don't want to go to the game. To me, that this combo, though, helps to describe why you don't have a feel.
I don't understand why you would own a team and not want to make it the best team in the league. Well, I know. I get that too, but don't you get that if you win?
But if you're the Pirates and you can have a payroll of $30 million and you're getting $50 million in
revenue, still banking it,
and $30 million from BAM and all the money from the and listen, you know this. Pirates fans are awesome. I mean, they come to these damn games and they're not good, and they still get $20,000 a game, and they're loud. I love going to Pittsburgh. It's one of the best ballparks in the league, and the fans are incredible there. Even when they're not good, man, they're packed. It's loud. They got their flags. They're doing the whole deal. It's awesome.
Dude, they're dying for winning.
So so give it to him. I don't get it. Give it to him. And he did for a second, and then it was just like, bring us all back. Let's run at it 4 more times or 3 more times,
Yeah, but you were tired. You said I'm done after 15, so he couldn't bring you back.
I did. I couldn't wipe my ass, AJ. It was tough, bro. It was getting tough.
All the damn curveballs you threw me. That's why.
It was good. I know, right?
You were an all-star that year too, right?
I think I threw you 9 straight. I think 1 point.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We have time.
Yeah, but wait, you were an all-star that year. Were you just like falling apart?
Yeah. Toward the end of the year, so I felt like I aged a lot in Philly. When I went over to Philly, there's a lot of things that helped me and kept me on the field in Pittsburgh and other places that necessarily wasn't there in Philly. And not that they did anything wrong. It's just, certain acupuncture things or certain treatments that, I had that Tommy John 03, bone spurs, you name it, blah, blah. And it just wasn't the same there. And I just felt like I had a nagging injury there that just I never really got over. And it came back in 15 at the end. And it was just, I mean, dude, this is a dude that threw 99 with a hammer, and I punched out 7 dudes in my last start with changeup. I was like, no, I got to go. So it was just different, and in between starts, I just couldn't. It was very tough to get back on there every 5 days. I even stopped doing bullpens, and I was a huge bullpen guy, like had to have them. So it was just time, man. It was time. I could have went further and done more, but it's all good.
Legends territory, fam. We appreciate you for not only watching this show, but putting up with all of our antics, including us wearing our premium polarized shades inside because we love them so much. And a shout out to our friends at Shady Rays for hooking us up with the sweet stuff here that we've got on our eyes, protecting us when we're outside, especially for AJ and me, because it's still hot out, but it's actually hot out year round for us because we're in Florida. So gear up for whatever season you've got ahead of you with sunshine, with quality shades built to last. You do not need to break the bank to look like this. So cheers to Shady Rays for the durable frames, the extremely clear optics for whatever outdoor adventure you've got going on, and the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses backed by lost and broken replacements, meaning even if it's day one and you break a pair or you can't find what you've got, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. So you can wear those Shady Rays with confidence. And if you'd like a little discount hookup, then go to shadyrays.com. And for their best deal of the season, you enter the code, I know this is difficult, FOUL, FOUL. You can do it for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. AJ loves them so much that he's speechless.
Is there any part of you mentioned 03 with the Marlins. Is there any part of you that is upset you missed that run with Beckett and the boys in 03? Because obviously you had Tommy John, but
yes and no, man. Like we went through so many struggles together, as a team and as a group, and we were a tight young team. We did a lot of things together. So my first day of long tossing was actually in Yankee Stadium during the World Series. Being able to watch them succeed and overcome, the 3 or 4 years that we had prior to us, it meant the world to me as much as them. I wasn't playing in it, but to see those guys shove and see them hit and win and silence the whole Yankee Stadium in 4 pitches, I was super proud for all of them. So absolutely, I want to be a part of it, but it was one of those things where it was really gratifying to watch.
What's your best Beckett story? Because that dude, I know Beckett, I know Josh very well. So there's got to be some.
He's a beauty, bro. He's a beauty,
especially back then.
My favorite was when he sat down to us during BP and was telling me how hard it is and how difficult it is because he was being compared to Nolan Ryan. And he was young, bro. He was dude. He sat down and he's like, and he's just putting his batting gloves on. Like, we used to go out BP. We couldn't wait. Like, we were young kids. We're hitting tanks, upper deck tanks. And he was just not in it today. And I was like, Josh, you all right, man? A lot of pressure, a lot of pressure, being compared to Nolan Ryan and all that. Like, what? I was like, get out of here. But the probably the best one was when Fernandez made him sign, I forgot how many baseballs. So I think when he signed, he said he was going to be in the All-Star game in a certain year or something like that. So when he came in the locker room for the first time, Alex Fernandez made him sign shit ton of balls with, Josh Beckett in the date of the All-Star game. Just because of Malakoff, and he said he's going to be there. I don't know if he definitely did, knowing Josh. He was good enough. He was viewed, man. Good kid, good Texas boy. I'm an Arkansas boy, so we hit it off and had a good time together. So, but yeah, he was a beauty, man.
Oh, he still is a beauty.
Yeah.
You know him at all?
I've interviewed him, and I think and I'm going to butcher the story to an extent, but I think it was during that time period, or was it a Red Sox story where he went to the bullpen and told the guys yo, you're not pitching today or something like that, like in a big game.
Doing that.
It's something along those lines. We've got it on one of these podcasts from back in the day. What about Yanks? Anything from the 09 Yanks that you observed that stood out from the surprise factor? Obviously, fans in New York are super demanding that they haven't won since, and what made that team special and getting to play with Jeter for his last title.
Hey, he was my locker mate. I was just about to mention that.
Nice.
Look at my right and Jeet's right there. Pettis to my left. Jorge's over there. First month was kind of like, all right, AJ, no autographs. But I don't know. It was that team was special. Me and Cole talked about it. He's like, we had some great runs, man. But now I know how special teams got to be. And I was like, right. You got to have everybody's got to be on the same page. Everybody's got to just know their role and support and do your thing and not pout, not complain. It was one of those special years, man. Like I remember them in 03 doing some special things, but I think we had 17 comeback wins that year in 09, and we just never stopped. And I didn't know Alex back then before going to the Yankees, but he's great. I could text him right now, and that boy, he texted me back in a heartbeat. But I think he really got humbled in 09 by the hip and the steroid experience. So I think he really came down to earth. And when he took that one swing in Atlanta with no practice swings and no rehab games, and not Atlanta. I'm sorry, it was Baltimore, Guthrie. No, it was Atlanta. Yeah, it was Atlanta because Cashman came in and chewed our asses out at the break because we weren't doing what we were supposed to do. But it was special. Everything you did that year was special, man.
What's a speech like that like?
He never came in before. It was kind of like, oh shit, I've never been on a team where we had a general manager come in before that. Spring training hellos, obviously, but not middle of the season. He just came in and was like, y'all need to fucking clean it up. Y'all, this is not what y'all should be doing. Look around your locker room. Look at what we have here. Look at what we put together.
and y'all need to fucking play better. And he walked out. And we were just like, I think we better play better, y'all. It was interesting. He was very stern. And he cared. You could tell he cared. So I'm pretty sure he flew in that day for it. Also, I don't think he was in Atlanta at the time. I think he flew in to come chew our asses out, and it worked. We got on a roll. Like I said, Alex took that one swing, and it was the loudest hit I've ever seen since Jim told me he took Alex Fernandez like 8 apartments back in spring training. It was so loud, and our team just rolled. Johnny was huge. Swiss was huge. CC and I, everybody just went along with everybody. No matter who you were, we're going to rag on you. We're going to get on you, and it was great. It was a wonderful experience.
You never played for the White Sox, then, if you never had a GM come in and yell at you. Because Kenny used to do that about once a week.
Did he? I mean, I heard Leland used to go in there and wear them boys out in Florida. Like, Dempsey used to tell me stories of Leland in his underwear and the cigarettes. And I was like, he was like, man, we used to be scared to fucking death of him. But not like this one. He was in it to win it. And
well, why didn't Cashman do that this year then?
Good question.
Maybe he tried.
Different game.
Maybe he tried. Maybe, yeah. They loud in the locker room. I mean, not everybody's allowed in there anymore.
No, he sends the analytic guy in there and says, "You guys aren't hitting the ball hard enough. You need to hit it 95 plus."
But you got a check mark there, so you did good. All right, what does that even mean, dude? What does that even mean? But I don't know if he did or not. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I do know that he's getting crazy heat for having one losing season out of 30, which is pretty good in my opinion. But who knows?
That's the demands. That's the demands you deal with.
Well, AJ did it all right. He handled New York just fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there any? Did you hear the Minkiewicz Jeter story? We talked to Minkiewicz, and he was talking about like they punked him during the playoffs. And what was that? Oh, I don't know what year it was, but they punked him with him and Posada. Jeter and Posada punked Doug, and Torrey was in on it, and all this whole big deal. So did you ever get like punked by Jeter?
Well, and I'll give him a little more context. So like Minkiewicz said something to media about Jeter's cologne and that he didn't like it, or that it caused the job at Nets. Was it that?
Or something, yeah.
Something that he trashed the cologne. Jeter goes to him with like some official letter from Macy's that it cost them millions of dollars. They have to take them off the shelves, a whole thing. This all in the playoffs. And he's like freaking out. Obviously, Doug's not like a longtime Yankee, and he's just trying to fit in with the boys. And then they were like, "Yeah, we're just fucking with you."
No, he was pretty cool and laid back, man. He was like just Mr. Chill. Like it was really fun to watch. Like it was same dude, same guy, day in, day out. Didn't matter what happened previously or what's gonna happen, or it was really. I'm very grateful that I had to share a locker room with some of the guys, especially someone like him. Like I mentioned pro, but that's probably the dude that's as pro as they come, man. Like everything he did was right. Everything he did. But never got punked. No, he didn't really seem like the punk guy there. He didn't even seem like I've heard that story, but he was more just kind of
kicking back cool.
What's up, AJ? Just kind of, he was just like Mr. Cool. Yeah, he was. He was the one guy that didn't pie. Everybody else on the team that year got pie, dude. He was on deck like 6 times, and I was just waiting for it. Like everybody's like, "You gonna get Jeter? You can't get Jeter." Like, you want to bet? Watch this. I got Alex. I got Jorge. Never got him, dude. One guy I never got. I was a little upset at that. But
wait, you didn't pie him? You said
he didn't get a walk off that year. He was the only one.
Oh.
Should have just
He's the only one.
Should have just done it.
I know, right? Just get him
at
the end of the year.
Did it.
Just to say I pied you.
I know, right? That'd have been awesome to be able to pie him. That'd been great. Because it was such a big controversy when I started doing it in New York, period. And then New York started loving that, and pies are sent to me from all everywhere. And Captain Morgan did a jersey, cream pie jersey and stuff. And then there was this big debate on should he get the captain? Should he pie Jeter? Is it disrespectful? Blah blah blah. And I couldn't freaking wait. I was like, please walk one off. I'm gonna double pie him, just to say I did.
I like that.
But yeah, we had. I think we had 17. It's up here somewhere. 15 walk-offs that year. 15.
Damn.
Jeter had 0.
0.
clutch.
On deck.
He
On
wasn't
deck.
cl- he
On
Yeah, right.
He wasn't
Like
clutch
7 of
enough. He wasn't clutch.
Did you sense any like healthy competition intensity or even tension with like him and A-Rod being on the same squad like during those years especially, or there
No,
was
one
nothing?
bit.
No.
There was nothing, man. They got along great, played alongside great, chatted, dugout, baseball talk, hidden talk. I never saw any of it, man. Never saw any of it.
All right, so now we can finally finish by circling back to your Pittsburgh
So this
vibe question.
No, this is when he was with Toronto.
What? I thought you were gonna ask about like the Cueto game or something.
Oh no. We're getting personal now.
What do you got?
We're about to get personal. So he pitched against us in Toronto, right? And I didn't strike out a whole lot. He threw me 9 straight. Remember all the talk about I have to throw fastballs and challenge everybody?
You remember that?
He threw me 9 straight curveballs. And I
What?
struck out 3 times in a row. And I was so fucking mad because I'm like, dude, this dude's Mr. Macho, tattoos, I'm coming at you, hitting trucks. 9 curveballs in a row. I struck out 3 times in a row. I was so pissed, right? So pissed. And I'm sure I yelled something like, you pussy.
Motherfucker.
You all
Motherfucker
macho.
was it is. Motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm like, you motherfucker. 9
And
curveballs in a row, right?
that was after the 6th one. So I was like, oh, he definitely getting 3 more now.
Why AJ? Why did you pick on Pierzynski?
I don't know.
Man, honestly, I don't remember who it was, but somebody told me that, lefties love that ball in, obviously, but somebody said that he really does. Like, he really likes that hard down and in. So I was like, all right, well, I ain't going to give him one. I ain't going to give him a heater to hit until he shows me he can hit my curveball. And no offense, but he missed the first 3 by like 3 feet. And I was like, and he's like, he's got to throw me this 99 at some point. He's got to throw me this 99 at some point. And it just stuck in my head for some reason that I didn't want to give you that heater, man. And they just kept coming.
That's okay.
It was definitely not personal. It wasn't that my AJ is better than your AJ.
You can laugh about it now. It's all good. But
I know.
The gets better. So then we faced you later in the year in Chicago, okay? And I went to our hitting coach, Greg Walker, and I said, this son of a bitch is going to throw me all curveballs. I'm like, I don't think I can hit it. So what do I do? And the hitting coach, Greg Walker, goes, here's what you do. First at bat, he's going to throw you a curveball. You wait for it to be away, and you hit it to left, and you go, and you get a base hit, and he'll stop throwing you. First at bat, first pitch, he throws me a backdoor breaking ball. Boom, base hit to left. He didn't throw me another one. I'm like,
oh, there you go.
Yeah, bastard.
That fucker hit my curveball, man. Damn.
I was like, hell yeah. Got that out.
My fastball got hit all the time. My hook never really got hit, so that's funny, man. I remember that game. Oh, man. But yeah, dude, that's the trip. I don't think I ever threw anybody 9 breaking balls in a row, bro. You got to be on the person.
It was like curveball. I'm like, and I'm swinging. They're bouncing in the turf at Rogers Center. And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to prove I can hit this son of a bitch.
Even Vladdy Guerrero hit it at some point, probably.
That is true, though. Full circle from the beginning of the combo. Like nowadays, some teams would be like, so we'd like you to throw your curveball 70% of the time.
Because it never gets
It doesn't get touched.
It had a good curveball. It had a good fastball, too, but it had a good curveball.
It was fun, man. It was fun. It really sucked that I had to get out and lose velocity and all that shit, but it happens.
Dude, it was a great run. Really, really great talking to you, and a special thanks to the MLBPAA for setting up this show, Legends Territory. And if you want the podcast version, just type Legends Territory into pods if you're watching the YouTube version right now. But AJ, really appreciate the time. This AJ that I'm looking at right here. Thanks, dude. Great catching up with you, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you, guys. Like you said, next time around, maybe hop in there and do it.
Yes.
Yeah,
let's go.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Studio AJ in Orlando.
That's right.